Yeah, I just clicked the button, so we will get that green circle or that red
Oh,
circle in a
I
minute.
think I see it.
You did?
Yeah, I was daydreaming, sorry. Um,
No, we're
no.
good. All right, we are live. We
We
are
are.
live. Watch the waiting room. We got Helen Ann in
Right,
the waiting room. We
I'm
got
clicking.
all right, you go for it. Thank you. Let me put myself front and center, and then I will turn it over to you. So thank you all for being here. I want to thank everyone for being here behind the curtain, so to speak, in our Zoom room and joining us there. And you're all welcome to do that. But I also want to welcome in those of you looking in on the social media channels that we simulcast to, Facebook, YouTube, and any other ministries that are sharing this message for your message during the week, during the day, or on this Sunday morning. Welcome in all. Should you ever want to join us on Zoom, just scroll the page, the Facebook page, and you'll find the newsletter that comes out every Friday. And it's also posted on the page. Within that are the instructions to join us on Zoom. And I encourage you to do that because we have some visiting and fellowship and Q&A and just talking with each other and sharing before we start the simulcast and broadcasting to the world. And then we do that again when the Sunday message is complete. And then we visit again and talk about whatever is inspired and whatever comes up. So it's good to see all of you back here in Zoom, and it's good to be with all of you on social media. I'm Reverend Dr. Stephen J. 𝘱𝗫𝗪𝘭𝘪. This is the community ministry, the alternative ministry for Unity Prosperity Ocean International on the Emerald Coast of Florida. And we're going to get going today without further ado by turning it over to Reverend Tanae 𝘱𝗫𝗪𝘭𝘪 to come out and share an opening prayer, daily word, whatever she has up her sleeve. So come on out, Tanae, and get us started.
Well, today's prayer for the day is first breathe in, close your eyes if you can, feet flat on the floor. And I want you to imagine right now the outline of your body. From the top of your head all the way down the neck, the ears, the neck, the shoulders, the arms, the hands, the torso, the hips, the knees, the thighs, the knees, the legs, the feet. Just imagine you have drawn a line, just outlining you.
I'll get it. Continue.
Thank you. And with that outline of you, give thanks to the living God, right?
You will have to unmute again, Tanae. I'm sorry. I muted everyone.
Okay.
I
I want you
apologize.
to, as you look at your outline of yourself, I want you to give thanks to the consciousness, to the spirit that allows you to be you, to move, breathe, and have being right now. And so it is. Amen. And the second thing I want you to do today is I want you all to imagine holding hands together. And right now I want to put Bev in this, and I want you to just, as we all do, we hold hands in a circle. And I want you all to give and send love to Bev right now. Just love. So that she feels and knows that she is loved. And we're here for her every step of the way. And whenever she may have a wave of something come over her, she feels the love and the hugs from us to her. And so it is. Thank you. And today's daily word is, today is Sunday, April 19th, 2026. And today's daily word is friendly, friendly. And the affirmation is, I greet others with a friendly and open heart. What's funny, I'm laughing is because this is truly me. Uh, Stephen could tell you all about it. I think I'm probably the most friendly person on the face of the earth. But anyway, so the affirmation is, I greet others with a friendly and open heart. So let's say that together. I greet others with a friendly and open
Open
heart.
heart.
I greet others with a friendly and open heart. I greet others with a friendly and open heart. It goes on to say the Bible contains many stories that encourage hospitality towards strangers. For instance, Jesus welcomed everyone to his ministry, from the hungry and the sick to strangers and social outcasts. He loved unconditionally. That same loving energy is within me. When I greet others with a friendly smile, I not only am sharing one of the great lessons of Jesus, I am expanding my world and giving myself the chance to learn and grow. If I feel hesitant meeting new people, I remember how it felt to be welcomed by friendly people when I was new to a school, job, church, or town. I was grateful for those people who extended themselves in friendship to me. These memories inspire me to be friendly now. And our scripture reference is from the book of Matthew. It's chapter 25, verse 35. And it reads, For I was hungry, and you gave me food. I was thirsty, and you gave me something to drink. I was a stranger, and you welcomed me. So let that wash over you today, the daily word, and may the Lord add a blessing to the reading and to the hearing of these words today. God bless you.
Well, thank you so much for that. And indeed, she is, talk about being friendly. I'm telling you, I kid around sometimes. We're at Publix together, and, I'll be wandering around kind of lost all by myself. We did walk in together, and the courteous staff will approach me and say, are you finding everything you need? Can I help you find something? And kiddingly or jokingly, I'll say, yeah, you can help me find my wife. I haven't seen her in about 10, 15 minutes. And they'll say, and I'm just trying to be funny, and they'll say, oh, today she's over in frozen foods with Jacqueline. It's like, oh, first name basis. Okay. All righty. Here we are. All right. Welcome in again, everyone. Good to be here with you. And I am going to make sure that I got everything I need in front of me. And today, I just want to remind you too that sometimes you put comments and quotes and affirmations in the chat, either here or on social media. And I did email you some of those. So hopefully you have those as well. So you could follow along, find them. And we're going to get going right here, right now with part two. Now, this is a series that I'm doing. It's going to turn out to be, I think, 4 parts. We started last week, and that last week one is on our YouTube channel when we were live and in person. It's on our Facebook page. It'll be there for 30 days. But we're basing it on the work by Dr. Joseph Murphy, a divine science minister, but a mainstream writer, The Power of Your Subconscious Mind, the late Dr. Joseph Murphy, a book that I used in my master's thesis and doctoral dissertation. I'm trying to remember if you edited those for me too, Bev. Maybe she did. She's done both all of our books and a lot of the stuff we've done. But anyway, we're just really fond of his work and really like taking a look at the power of the subconscious mind. That's where all this started for me, really knowing that there was this power in there. And before I dive into today's message, I'll just tell you a little backstory about it. And I put it into, I don't know if it's my dissertation or my master's thesis, but way back, when I think I was 18 or 19 years old, there was a full page ad in the Detroit Free Press in Michigan, and it was titled The Lazy Man's Way to Riches. And I read that ad, and it was great ad copy. It's still referred to as a masterpiece to this day. And this guy wrote how you can, you just kind of can be lazy and you can just have all the money you want coming in. Now, that sounded really appealing to me as a young man. You know, I'd like to just kick back and at that time just drink my beer and have money rolling in. So I ordered the book. It was $10, and the front part of the book was all about how he made his money in mail order and what a great industry that was. This is way before the internet, remind you. And the second part of the book, though, was talking about our subconscious mind. And everything clicked with me. It made sense because I had struggled with so many different things, and the things that he was suggesting, I go, oh, that makes sense. And I would try a few things and it would work. But then I would spend years and years and years and years fogging everything up and not being in a place of clarity because there was too much tobacco, too much beer, and probably a few other things in there as well. So it didn't all click till later on when I got more clarity and started studying the material that I share with you. So that's just where it all started, where I became aware of the subconscious mind, and I'm thankful for it because when I did approach my deathbed, those final hours or final minutes, all of it that was buried under there that I had taken in without clarity came knocking at the door and said, hey, don't forget you got some powers going on inside of you that have been lying dormant that you can access. So that's why I'm very fond of this series, the work by Dr. Murphy, and that I have decided to share with you and be inspired to share with you at this time. This second part of this, and most of you were here for part one, so we're going to just keep going within. This one's the power within, part two, the law of belief. And this is so powerful. And again, I want to preface this by saying there's so much talk out there about the law of attraction, but we have to understand that the law of attraction is an effect. Attraction is an effect. It's what shows up as we participate with the laws of causation, either knowingly or unknowingly. And that's the key. The key is working in harmony with the laws of causation, knowing what they are, and how do we work in harmony with them so we experience what we want to experience rather than experience conditions in our lives by default, right? So today we're talking about the law of belief, and this is near and dear to our hearts. We talk about this all the time, whether it's the work we do in ministry or the work we do outside of ministry in leadership development programs or personal development programs. So we're continuing this journey through this powerful series. Last week we explored the truth that the world within creates the world without, and now we're going deeper into it, deeper into the spiritual law that governs how that inner world takes shape. Dr. Murphy writes, the law of life is the law of belief. And I want us to sit with that statement for a moment and really think about it. The law of life is the law of belief. And to reinforce this one, Tanae and I were both born in the city of Detroit, growing up in the shadows of the Ford Motor Company and Henry Ford's influence. Heck, Tanae even worked for a long period of time at Ford Motor Company world headquarters in Dearborn, Michigan. But we were surrounded by a lot of the energy and the atmosphere of Henry Ford. And one of his favorite quotes, and I'm paraphrasing here, says, whether you believe you can or believe you can't, you're right. It's all in here. The law of life is the law of belief. So just consider that for a moment. The law of life is a law of belief. This means life often unfolds in accordance with what we deeply accept as true. Not merely what we casually say, not merely what we wish, but what we inwardly, emotionally, and spiritually believe. This is why belief is not a small matter. Belief is formative, creative, directive, Belief quietly organizes the atmosphere of our lives. So, one of the most important spiritual questions we can ask, that you can ask, is what do you really believe? I don't think we do this often enough. We take people through exercises like this all the time in our programs. What do I really believe? What do you believe? What is your belief structure? Because that's your foundation. And a lot of people don't even know what they believe. We'll talk about that a little bit today because where did it come from, right? But what do I believe? Not what do I say publicly, not what do I post online, not what do I want others to think, or what do I want others to think I think, but what do I actually believe in the deeper chambers of consciousness? What do I believe? Do I believe life supports me? Do I believe healing is possible? Do I believe love is available? Do I believe peace is attainable? Do I believe abundance can flow? Or do I quietly believe that struggle is normal, that lack is inevitable, that disappointment is expected, that failure is safer than trying? Dr. Murphy tells us that it is belief itself that activates the law of mind. Belief becomes a spiritual blueprint, so to speak. And life often begins to organize itself around that blueprint. So think of belief as the invisible architecture behind visible experience. I love that word architecture. Perfect word for right here. The architecture. Because architecture, you think somebody designs this. And we love architecture and looking at different, unique architecture. Architecture, we look at homes with character, buildings that are unique, right? Architecture. But somebody thought of that. Somebody designed it, right? Long before something shows up in outer life, it often exists as a deeply accepted inner pattern. A person who deeply believes they are unworthy may unknowingly sabotage opportunity. And a lot of these beliefs we are not aware of. They can be subconscious, buried beliefs. A person who deeply believes healing is possible may begin to cooperate with restoration. A person who believes in peace often makes different choices than one who expects conflict. I think we see that a lot today, don't we? A person who believes in peace often makes different choices than one who expects conflict. And expectation, we know, is everything. Belief influences perception. Perception influences action. Action influences outcome. And then outcome seems to conform or confirm, I should say, the original belief. This is why beliefs can become self-reinforcing. Remember, this works on both sides of the coin, folks, right? So let's look at some other teachers, because this is not just Dr. Murphy and a theory. We're talking about law, right? Jesus taught this principle repeatedly. According to your faith, be it unto you. Faith. That is the law of belief. Faith is not merely religious language. Faith is sustained inner acceptance. It is the emotional and spiritual conviction that something is true. Dr. Murphy makes this beautifully practical. He says, belief is a thought accepted by the mind. What thought have you accepted? That is the question. We need to do this work. We need to examine what we have accepted. Let me give you a simple example. Two people receive the same opportunity. One says, this could be the breakthrough I've been waiting for. The other says, this probably won't work. Same opportunity, different belief, different energy, right? Different action, different result. The belief preceded the outcome. This happens spiritually, relationally, financially, and emotionally every single day. Dr. Murphy teaches that the subconscious mind responds to accepted thought as law. So belief is accepted thought, right? That's what I believe in. Again, both sides of the coin. It does not, the subconscious mind does not debate it, right? We're declaring it, we're decreeing it, we're stating it, we're affirming it one way or another, saying it is so. Subconscious mind accepted thought as law. No debate, it just responds, right? Stores it, responds. This is why repeated self-talk matters. If you continually say, I can't, I'm so, and I'm not going to say it. I'm stuck. Things never change. This never changes. The deeper mind is listening. It begins organizing life around those instructions. Remember how important affirmations are in our life. They're foundational to unity principles. Our fourth unity principle states, through prayer and meditation, I align my heart and mind with God. Denials and affirmations are tools I use. So the deeper mind is, and this is why organizing life around those instructions. Affirmations are instructions, they're statements of truth. But if you begin affirming in a positive way, your life's going to organize around these positive affirmations too. That's why we do them. If you begin affirming, I am guided, I am supported, life is opening before me, the deeper mind begins cooperating with a different reality. This is why we must be careful stewards of belief. You know, many people are not suffering from reality. They're suffering from false beliefs. They're suffering from even inherited beliefs, family beliefs. So we got to do some deep inner work. Where did these come from? Cultural beliefs, societal beliefs that have been accepted, religious beliefs, old emotional beliefs. Some people inherited lack. Others inherited fear. Others inherited self-doubt. Others inherited shame, but inherited belief is not destiny. You don't have to accept that. Truth can replace this conditioning. But you have to remember, we're conditioned day in and day out. You know, especially when, you know, I'm thinking about this and I'm sharing this with you, and I'm thinking about those societal beliefs. You know, we call it race consciousness sometimes. But man, we're bombarded with it, and repetition causes that retention, right? And it can be very unintentional at times. That's where unconscious bias comes in. We lean one way because we've gotten it over and over and over again, and it's being retained, whether we intended it to be or not to be, right? No pun intended there, Mr. Shakespeare. But let's look at just how beliefs are formed for a minute here. Let's take this a step deeper. Beliefs rarely appear overnight, okay? Most beliefs are formed, again, through repetition, emotion, and experience. That's why I went back to that race consciousness, societal beliefs, because we're bombarded with this. We might just have the news on in the background or the radio playing in the background. But you know what? We had that song playing going up. We had the radio. Oh, there it is, that song playing. Maybe it was a song that was on that we didn't like, but maybe our girlfriend or our boyfriend liked it, or her mom or dad liked it. But you know what? It was in there. And I grew up with hearing a lot of the songs from the 40s and the 30s and all that stuff. And maybe it wasn't something I was really fond of, but if you heard it over and over again, it's like one day you wake up and you know all that words to that song you don't even like. So we're bombarded with some things that become accepted by our subconscious mind that we are listening to. So be very cautious. But remember, it's repetition experience. Sometimes belief is born in childhood. A teacher says something. A parent repeats something. A painful moment leaves an impression. And over time, that impression hardens into identity. A child who hears repeatedly, "You are difficult. You are so difficult." They may grow into an adult who believes, "I'm a burden. I'm just a burden." A person who experiences repeated disappointment may begin to believe, "Nothing ever works out for me." Well, yeah, always that victim mindset. Person who has known loss may begin to expect loss. It's going to show up sooner or later. You're going to lose it. This is why beliefs can become so powerful. They need our attention because sometimes they no longer feel like beliefs. They begin to feel like facts. But friends, not everything that feels true is truth. There's a difference between lived experience and ultimate spiritual truth. It's important to know the difference. A difficult season may have been very real. A painful chapter may have been real. A long struggle may have indeed been real. But it does not have to become your permanent ideology or permanent theology, let's say. One of the most liberating moments in spiritual growth is when we realize I've been living from a belief, not from truth. From a belief. Where did that come from? Huh? Why do I even believe in that? That realization changes everything. I'm living from a belief, not from truth. When I'm talking truth, I'm talking uppercase T, divine truth, spiritual principle, spiritual law. Because the belief, what has been learned, can be unlearned. What has been inherited can be released. What has been reinforced can be replaced. And that's what this work is calling us to do, this spiritual work. Spiritual transformation often begins with replacing false beliefs. The belief, "I am not enough," becomes, "I am divinely equipped." The belief, "I always struggle," becomes, "I am aligned with divine order." The belief, "I will never heal," becomes, "The life of God is active within me." This is spiritual reconditioning, and it changes everything. You ever, you ever start, you ever scroll and see some of these guys? "Oh, I got a couple bucks in my hand. I'm going to go to the secondhand store and get a piece of furniture, see if I can turn it into a few $100 by the end of the day." And they start reconditioning that furniture, giving it what? New life, a new appearance, a new way it is showing up in the world around them, right? So let's talk a little bit about that, the role of feeling. We feel different when we're in a different atmosphere, when we are moving through this transformation, right? Because belief is more than words. It is emotionally charged thought. If words are spoken without feeling, they rarely penetrate deeply. And you know this about me or Tanae when we talk and we teach about affirmations. We often talk and maybe do it tongue in cheek. We don't affirm. I'm a divine child of God. I'm a divine child. That's not penetrating deeply. But when thought and feeling unite, then belief actually forms. This is why prayer, meditation, and affirmation must be felt. That's why we have identified zeal as one of the 12 powers. Prayer, meditation, affirmation with feeling and emotion, feeling into that. This is how we actually shift our vibration, how we adjust our frequency, not just merely repeating by rote, charging it with feeling and emotion. Belief must move from intellect into embodied conviction. And let's talk for a moment about the power of expectation, because we tell people all the time, you don't get necessarily what you want, you get what you expect. Expectation is belief projected forward. It is the atmosphere you carry into tomorrow. Some people wake up expecting peace. Others wake up expecting conflict. Some expect opportunities, others expect obstacles. I wonder what's going to happen today, right? Some expect divine support. I know I'm going to be supported. Whatever comes my way, I am going to be divinely supported. God is my unfailing and all providing source of all good. Others expect struggle. Expectation is often the emotional shape of belief. Expectation. What are you expecting? Moment to moment, day by day. And expectation influences how we move through life. A person who expects rejection may withdraw before connection is even possible. A person who expects failure may hesitate before they even begin. A person who expects blessing moves with a different energy. I expect to be blessed as I move through this experience today. Those words, that charging it with that positive expectation, makes the world of difference. This is why Jesus repeatedly called people into faith. Faith is not wishful thinking. Faith is spiritually aligned expectation. It is this decision to believe that life can express in a higher way. And when belief and expectation align with truth, life begins to reorganize around that alignment. So, how about your practical application for today as we begin to wind this down here? We're about application and action. How do I apply this to my life, Stephen? How do I take action? What are the action steps around all this? This week, I want to invite you into a spiritual practice just simply by asking daily, what am I believing right now? What am I believing right now? And I'm working through a lot of stuff, and this is really powerful to ask this. What am I believing right now? What side of the coin am I on? What am I latching onto? What is my belief right now in this moment? Then ask, does this belief agree with truth? Capital T, right? Does this belief agree with truth? What's truth? Divine truth. One presence, one power, one God. If not, replace it, right? This belief doesn't agree with truth, replace it. Plant a new belief. We talked about the garden last week. What are we planting? Plant a new belief. Repeat it. Repeat it. Feel it. Live from it. Allow it to become natural. That's yours to do this week. So, my friends, everyone listening, know that the law of life is indeed the law of belief. Life often bends around the convictions we carry. So let us choose consciously. I think faith, strength, wisdom, love, power. We start looking at power, and I always talk about choice and decision and intention and commitment when we talk about the power of power. Here we have that fork in the road where we can say, no, I'm going to choose consciously. I'm going to examine this belief and choose consciously. Let us believe in healing. Let us believe in restoration. Let us believe in transformation being possible for us. Let us believe in the flow of God's grace. Believe in possibility. Believe within. And as we do that, let's affirm together. I now believe in divine possibility, healing, peace, and right expression in every area of my life. I love that. I'm going to do it again. I now believe in divine possibility, healing, peace, and right expression in every area of my life. Amen. And the people say amen. All right. I'm going to turn on some music and we're going to go into our meditation. So I invite you, we'll just do a couple minutes here of meditation. And so I'm going to play some music here in the background. Let me click a few buttons here. Give me a thumbs up if you can hear it today. She's thinking about it. A little bit more, she says. Hang on here. Oh yeah, it's kind of quiet over here. How's that? Okay, I got the thumbs up, ladies and gentlemen. So just take a couple of deep breaths with me here. Anchoring into this eternal moment of right here, right now. Not controlling the breath, just becoming aware of it taking place in this moment. And gently become still. Letting go of thoughts that concern the rest of the day or what has gone before. Just being fully present in the stillness. Taking another deep breath and releasing. Breathing in peace and letting go. Allow the body to soften. Let the shoulders relax. Let the breath slow. Now bring your awareness inward. Into the quiet sanctuary of your mind. The place where beliefs quietly live. And ask gently within. In this place, ask, what have I been accepting as true? What story have I been carrying? What belief have I been rehearsing? What expectation have I been living from? Simply notice. Notice what you're noticing. Observe what's coming up without judgment, only awareness. Now gently bring into awareness, front and center, so to speak, any belief that no longer serves you. Perhaps a belief rooted in fear, lack, self-doubt, limitation. Just see it gently before you. And now imagine placing it into the light of divine truth. And just allow it to soften. See it begin to dissolve, to melt. Gone. Released. Now breathe in a new belief. Peace. Wholeness. Strength. Possibility. Support. Grace. Faith, strength, wisdom, love. And affirm within, I now believe in divine possibility. I now believe in healing and peace. I now believe that life supports my highest good. I now believe that truth is active within me. Rest in that feeling. That feeling. Allow belief and peace to unite. And let us together affirm, the law of life in me responds to peace, faith, and divine possibility. And so it is. Amen. I invite you to return your awareness to wherever you are right now. I want to just invite everyone here on Zoom to stay here for a few moments while I say au revoir to our friends on social media and YouTube and other ministries. I want to thank you for being with us today here at Unity Prosperity. Myself, Reverend Stephen 𝘱𝘰𝗴𝘪𝘦𝘭𝘪𝘵, and Reverend Tonay, and all of us here in our Unity community here on Zoom. We say we love you, we bless you, we appreciate you, and we behold the Christ in each and every one of you. Until next time, I wish for you an infinitely spectacular day. We'll see you next week at 9 a.m. Central Time. God bless you.